So today what you'll need is a strap. If you have one, a stretchy band of any resistance type of a band works best. Let's get started. So we're gonna come onto hands and knees, and you can just have your babe lying on the floor here. And we're just gonna do a little bit of movement. We're gonna do some kind of cat-cow moves, so you can just kind of give him some cute little smiles and stuff. Tuck your toes under. You're gonna inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back. Here, I really want you to work on not just sinking your belly all the way down, but keep your arms straight and your shoulders not sag down, but keep them kind of spread apart. And then, like you're pulling your hands back to your knees as you look forward. And then the other way, you untuck the toes, curl around, and then push like you're spreading the mat further apart between your knees and hands. Move your head a little side to side. Hi. Tuck your toes, and again, pull. Like you're trying to pull your hands back to your knees and your arms are really working. Exhale, untuck, curl around it, push all the way back. Roll your head a little side to side. Last one, tuck the toes. Pull, 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 pull your hands towards your knees. Really get those arms activated. So it's less dropping down in the belly, more arm activation pulling. Exhale, untuck, curl round. Curl all the way up, think belly button up, tailbone to the floor, and then just move your hips side to side, side to side. Hi. Wiggle left and right. And then maybe move your hands a little bit further forward, and then just do some big circles all the way around, like you're hula hooping your hips around. Hi. Good. And then circle, roll them around the other way. Hello. Hello. Okay. And then let's come back to the center. So let's work a little bit of our deep abdominal activation. So just on your hands and knees here. And now what we want to do is, if maybe you put a block on your back, or imagine you have a glass of water on your back, you don't want to sink down and you don't want to curl and round up. Okay? So just from this nice neutral position, you're going to inhale, let your belly just kind of sink down toward the floor. And then on the exhale, I want you to activate that deep lower belly and pull up and in. So you can do just a sharp exhale, or you can do the S breath. So you and then you feel that deep lower belly pull in. You might feel a little pelvic floor activation as well. Okay, but we just don't want to drop or round to activate that lower abdominal muscle. Okay, so let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, let the belly sink towards the floor. Exhale, pull that belly up and in. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, pull the belly up and in. Good, and then hold it there, keep it in. Take a few breaths, good. Keep it there, and then I want you just to lift one knee off the ground, okay? So maybe you just need to move just your legs a little bit. So you're keeping that lower belly pulled in, and then I want you just to lift the right knee, hover it off the ground, without your hips twisting side to side, and then lower it back down. And then again, exhale, lift the left knee up. So it's like you're trying to pull the knee up into your hip rather than just like twisting your hips to the side. And then lower it down. So you're trying to maintain your body as central as possible as you lift that knee off the ground, and just alternate here. One knee, exhale the other knee. So it's a nice low impact way to really get that belly in your center to turn on. Lifting one knee, lower. Lifting the other knee, lower. Do it again. Good job, Boo. And then last side. And then lower it down, okay? Arms should be working a lot here. So you want to try not to bend your elbows as you do that, but you're keeping your arms nice and straight and you're pushing up between your shoulder blades. So if you are, it's a little bit challenging in the arms, so go ahead and just sit back, hips to your heels for a child's pose. Relax your shoulders. Hello. Pull your babe up if they want to come up. Mine started sitting all the time now, and that's all she wants to do. Okay? Until she falls over and bumps her head. So, now, let's continue on here, and let's just scoot you back. Now we want to use our band. Okay? So, grab a band. I have two. One is harder, one is a little lighter. I'm going to go with my little lighter one to start. So basically, I want you to stay in this quadruped position, and then you're going to kneel onto your band. Here. Okay, so you can start, let's start with your right hand. You're going to grab onto the band, and then keeping nice and strong in the shoulders, we're going to take the band and then open it out to the side, and then bring it back in. So you can play around with the resistance. The closer you bring it towards your knee, the harder it'll be. The further away, the easier it'll be. Okay, and then you're going to just reach out and back. So you're trying not to let your trunk and your body sway side to side. You're just trying to let that arm move away from the midline. And by doing that, we're really activating your middle, your center. So the other thing you want to be aware of is that you're not just like letting your belly kind of hang down or coning or any doming in the midline. So you want to think that deep TA, pulling up and in, exhaling as you reach the arm out. Try to keep your arm straight. Let's do 3 more. And down. 2 more. And down. Last one. And release it, bring it down. Okay? Now let's switch to the other side. Sit back onto your heels. Arms, they're getting a good workout just by supporting you here, so don't be surprised that your arms are kind of killing. And then come back onto band under your knees. Come into your horse dance position. Grab on with the other hand. Take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale. And then lift that hand out and away. And down. Inhale, exhale. And down. Few more. And down. 4. And down. 2 more. And down. Last one. And lower it down. Good. Sit back. Let that one go. Move the strap out the way. Hi! I do love straps to use for a little bit of stretching, so I want you to grab it just about shoulder width distance apart, and then you can push the band forward, round your spine, drop your head in, and then just do this kind of, I like to call it crazy race car driver, like you're rocking, moving side to side. So I want your spine to be rounding back, and I want your tailbone to be like scooping forward if your baby's in front of you, towards your baby, and then you're just moving side to side and just getting a really good stretch in through the back of the shoulders and spine. Good. And then inhale, coming up. Keep your arms straight up over your head. Just face the camera now. Keep your arms straight up over your head. Whether you're sitting on your heels or you're sitting cross-legged, just depends on how your knees feel. So pick one that feels good for you. You don't have to sit on your heels like this. Arms are straight up. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then I want you to side bend to the right side. And try not to collapse down to the side. So try not to like fold down and forward. But keep length as you side bend. So your chest should be open towards the camera or your computer. Inhale back to the center. Lift up and lengthen, side bend to the other side. So you're giving a little bit of a tug and a pull onto the band. And then you're pushing that band away from you. One more time, inhale back to the center, lift and lengthen, and then side bend over to the right side. Good, back to the center. Inhale, lift and lengthen, side bend to the left. Good. And then come back in through the center. Release the band. Give your head, neck, A little bit of a roll around. Good. So let's come onto hands and knees. Let's do a little downward facing dog. So works best if you can lie your baby down and they don't get too angry about it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so once you get them down, come on. It's easier to come a little bit further in front of them. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and lift up and back into your downward facing dog. Hello, Bobo. Lie your head back. Lie your head back, my love. Yes, good job. Good. Let's pedal the legs. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Shake your head. Yes and no. Hey. Pedal legs. You want to bend your knees, lift your tailbone, press your belly back towards your thighs, and bend your knees. For most people, bend your knees. You don't need to have legs straight by any means. Hold here, pedal the legs out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let's bend the knees. Exhale, slowly lower down, slowly with control. Make sure you're exhaling and you're not holding your breath. Good. Come down, maybe sit back, take a little child's pose. Sit back, stretch the arms, wiggle your hips a little side to side. Hi. Now let's do a little bit of shoulder work, but it's also working your core, working your center. So I'm going to give you a couple of variations depending on where you are in your postpartum journey. So maybe in the beginning when things are still feeling a little bit squishy. In the middle, I want you just to come into this quadruped position where your knees are just under your hips and your wrists are just under your shoulders. So we're going to think about that S breath where we're going to pull that lower belly up and in. So we're going to exhale, inhale, let the belly kind of sink down. Exhale. Feel that lower belly pull up and in. Hold it there. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing though. And then arms nice and strong. You're going to take one hand, tap the shoulder, and then lower it down. Take the other hand, tap the shoulder, and lower it down. So as you're doing this again, you don't want to sway your hips side to side. You want to keep your hips right in the center, and the only thing that's moving are those arms. So as slow and controlled as you can. And then just going side to side, okay? So if you want to progress this one and you want to make this a little bit harder, then you can come into a plank position, okay? But one word of caution, if you're plank from your knees, okay? So we want to not be like this. We don't want to have that belly drop down and the tailbone up to the sky and then doing that, okay? Because it's a lot of pressure on the lower back. So if you have the strength for it, you walk your knees back a little bit further, you're going to curl your tailbone down towards the floor so you pull that lower belly up and in. So you really want to feel that lower belly activation. And then you come forward into a plank on your knees so that your spine is a little bit more straight, even almost kind of curled up and rounded a little bit. And that tailbone is moving down towards the floor. Think like with your pubic bone, like you're trying to tuck your pubic bone up towards your face, okay? So that requires a little bit more strength to be able to do this. So see which one you can do. And if you're not for sure, look as you do it into a mirror and you can maybe see what happens when you come forward like this. So if you have that tailbone sticking up, you want to just come back, hands and knees under one another. Okay, so if you can, then tuck your tailbone down, curl forward, and then you come forward so you're in a nice line from your knees up to the crown of your head. And then from here, and it works a little easier if you have your knees a little bit wider. From here, I'm drawing my belly in, I'm exhaling, and then I'm going to tap one hand onto my shoulder, and then to the other. And then just moving side to side. I'm making sure I'm not holding my breath, and I'm exhaling as I move side to side. Good. So this is a lot harder. So knees wider is going to help you so that you have a little bit more stability. And again, we're just moving those arms, not letting the lower half of the body move. Couple more. 3, 2. Last one. Very good. And then sit it back, hips to your heels, come into a child's pose. Very good. Wiggle your hips a little side to side, side to side. Let your arms rest. It's a lot of work on the shoulders, the arms, but you also get so much work in your core and your center. And so that's why we do a lot slower, because if you do it really fast, it can be really sloppy and you can move all around the place. So you really want to work on slow and steady, and that's going to help you to rebuild that connection of your center to the rest of the body and your limbs moving. So we want to be able to find that control, which can be quite challenging post-birth, because birth is like, it's like a car crash that happens in our midline, in our center. So it just takes a while to be able to regain that control and that feeling in your torso. So just depending on where you are in your journey, if you're freshly out postpartum, this is something that you would work your way towards, progressively loading your moves that you do. Okay? So that's all from us today. I hope you enjoyed this reconnecting to your center, feeling your midline, and let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.